Good morning. This is Stacy, and welcome to Chargers Talk 4630, your home where we have honest takes, fresh analysis, uncomfortable conversations, and all things Chargers football. Thank you to all the subscribers out there, as well as all the listeners who are tuned in wherever you listen to your podcast. I appreciate you. Please like, share, and subscribe. Now, look, I got to tell you, the AFC West is very interesting this year. I was thinking about how this season is going to play out, and honestly, it's been everything that we all thought it would be, and then some, right? I want to share with you how I see this second half of the season playing out. The Chargers came out the gate hot, beating all the teams in their division. Meanwhile, the Kansas City Chiefs stumbled out the gate. They were down a couple of receivers. Travis Kelce was seeing double teams, and that limited their offense, and they couldn't really run the ball earlier. And because of that, Patrick Mahomes struggled early. Denver, on the other hand, they got off to a strong start as well. So just like we thought, it's been shaping up to be a three-team race. Each team has been tested in their own way. The Chiefs fought through adversity early. The Chargers dealt with a wave of injuries, losing most of their offensive line and they started running backs. And now the Broncos have hit a major setback with the Defensive Player of the Year, Patrick Surtain, out for the next 4 to 6 weeks with a pec strain. Now, that's a huge blow for that defense. But this division, man, is competitive. The Chiefs have won the AFC West Division 9 straight times. But this year feels different to me. You've got 3 coaches, Andy Reid, Sean Payton, and Jim Harbaugh, all proven winners, and they all have their quarterback. The Chiefs have fought their way back to 5-3 after winning 3 straight, tying the Chargers in the standings, right? But remember, the Chargers did beat Kansas City in week 1, 27-22. And the Chiefs still have to see Denver twice and host the Chargers again at Arrowhead in mid-December. Now, I feel that all 3 teams control their own destiny. None of them need help. All they have to do is just take care of their business. The Chargers look like they found their rhythm again, regaining that mojo they had before the injuries. And while Andy Reid and Mahomes have been the standard, Jim Harbaugh and Justin Herbert are showing that the gap is starting to close. Herbert, to me, is the more complete athlete. He just hasn't had the same setup Mahomes has had. The stability, the defense, the Super Bowl experience. He just didn't have the opportunity yet. It reminds me of when Ben Roethlisberger, Eli Manning, and Phillip Rivers came to the league in 2024. Some defenses had running games behind them, others didn't. That's often the difference between good and great. But what's changing now is that the Chargers finally have that structure. With guys like Keenan Allen, Lat McConkey, Trey Harris, and Oronde Gaston stepping up, you're seeing this offense start to evolve. Justin Herbert's learning to beat teams with both his arm and his legs. And that dual threat element could be just what it takes to get this team over the top. Now, defensively, Derwin James, Khalil Mack, Adafio Way, Tony Jefferson, and Dayan Henley, they're all playing inspired football under Jesse Minter. Hey, guys, I got to put you on to something I've been checking out. It's a company called Distill Union. They make these slick, minimalistic wallets and magnetic key organizers, right? That just makes life easier. And get this, I've got an exclusive 20% off just for you. All you got to do is go to DistillUnion.com, make your purchase, and don't forget, when you check out, use my code ChargeTalk4630. I earn a small commission when you use my code, so when you buy, you're not only supporting me and the show, you're getting the best deal they offer. So you can feel the shift. I know I can. And for the first time in a long time, the Chiefs may have a real challenger inside their own division. Now, if you're a Chargers fan, buckle up, because I think we're in for an exciting finish. Some people still see it before they believe it, but me, call me crazy or whatever you want, but I see it and I believe it. And speaking of teams making moves to stay in this AFC West race, let's talk about some of the trade rumors that's floating around. I want to remind people that Chargers are not in the financial position a lot of people think they are. Right now, the team's total salary cap allocation for this season was sitting at like $281 million, with only about $2 million in cap space left. That's not a lot of wiggle room. So when people bring up names like Breece Hall or Alvin Kamara, trust me, it sounds exciting. I would love it too. But it's just not realistic with where they stand financially. Remember before the trade for Adafio Way week 5, the Chargers had about $10 million in cap space to spend. That deal shaved off $7 million of that. They recently signed veteran safety Marcus Williams, which also cuts into what was left. Now, I don't know what that amount is yet, but I know they're running on tight margins. And let's not forget this. If you're going to make a deal for a guy like Kamara or Breece Hall, you're not just paying salary. The Saints or the Jets will want compensation, right? Either draft picks or players or both. The Chargers don't really have the flexibility to do either one of those right now. So what's Joe Ortiz, in my opinion, doing instead? He's taking the smart, realistic approach. He's bringing in low risk, high reward players, right? Guys who may not be in their prime, but still have experience, a high football IQ, and their leadership, right? These are the players who can come in, hold things together, and keep the ship steady while the team gets healthy. Just look at Tony Jefferson, who didn't play the year before he was signed by the Chargers. I believe he was working in some capacity in the Baltimore Ravens organization as maybe, I think, like a player development role, something to that effect. But anyways, he's a veteran who's proven he's still got something left in the tank. Players like that can make the most of an opportunity if they show they can still play meaningful snaps, and they could possibly earn another year or two in the league. As far as the draft goes, the Chargers currently have 5 draft picks in 2026. They have their first, their second, their third, their fourth, and their sixth. Their 5th round pick, that went to Baltimore on their Odafe Oweh trade. And their 7th round pick, that went to Tennessee for compensation in the trade they made for Elijah Molden. That's not a lot of draft capital to be thrown around for a trade, especially when you're trying to build long-term debt. So no, I can't see the Chargers going Rams mode saying F those picks. That's just not Ortiz's style. And as of now, they're not projected to get any compensatory picks in 2026 either, which makes the picks they currently have even more valuable. So I believe Ortiz is going to keep plugging the holes as they appear, keeping the ship balanced. He's got strong ties to Baltimore and Tennessee, so don't be surprised if some of these familiar faces keep popping up. They may not be flashy moves, but they're smart moves. And right now, that's exactly what this team needs. That'll wrap things up for today's episode of Chargers Talk 4630. Week 9 is a few days away as they head to Nissan Stadium to take on the Tennessee Titans. Drop your comments and thoughts, and you can also hit me up on X at retired_in26997. I want to hear from you. Until next time, this is Chargers Talk 4630, where we keep Boat Nation locked in, fired up, and believing no matter what. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I thank you and appreciate your support. And as always, boat up.